2. Was it 30 through 35?
This is Baruch 2 and 30. It says, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves, and shall know that I am the Lord their power, for I will give them a heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck, and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord, and I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them.
So there it is, man. So the Israelites literally got scattered to the four corners of the earth among all people. So you still got people who don't want to acknowledge the scattered Israelites, the same as you got people who don't want to acknowledge that that's also in reference to some of the Gentiles that were coming back, even going.
I just got a quick one for you. This is St. John 7:35. And it's just a two piece right here. It's St. John 7:35. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go? And we shall not find him. Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? So they called the dispersed Gentiles. Plain and simple. Who's that dispersed? Isaiah 11 and 10. And I'm starting at 10. And in that day there should be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people, to which shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. Get that Hebrew for Gentiles, my shot. All right? To what the Gentiles shall seek. So it says the Gentiles shall seek to Yahweh Shai, right? Because he's that root of Jesse. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again a second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. All right, that's scattered abroad. All right, and referred to them as what? The Gentiles. But it said these are his people, the remnant of his people. Goes right with Romans 9, I believe, by the 23rd verse, 22nd verse. I could be wrong, could be further down. Paul mentioned the Jews and the Gentiles. Then he quotes Hosea to reference the Gentiles, which is the precept Hosea, the first chapter he uses. It's talking about Israelites that were not cast off, but put away for a moment, because the Lord hid us for a second. And then he said Isaiah was more bold concerning Israel, saying a remnant shall return. That's the Gentiles, the remnant of Israel that's scattered abroad, that's returned to the elect. That's the Gentiles Paul was a disciple to.
Apostle to.
A little more slightly. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations. And this word for nations is the same word for Gentiles in the 10th verse. You got that word, Masha?
Yeah.
Read, brother.
Greek, either by nationality, whether a native of the mainland or of the Greek islands or colony, in a wider sense, the name embraces all
What verse
nations.
you in? Isaiah 11. You in the New Testament, right?
Huh.
Oh no, Isaiah 11.
Okay.
The Hebrew.
Look at the Hebrew. Yeah, Raul, I threw him off, man. Worried about the gardens. Go ahead.
All right.
11 and 10.
Huh. Nation, people, usually of non-Hebrew people, of the descendants of Abraham.
So the word goyim they put there, which is goyim, all right, is usually talking about just nations, because the word simply means nations. So you say you're from a nation, you would say the word goy or goyim, all right. What happens is it's a generic term, because the Lord is only two lots. The rest of Esther makes it clear. There's one lot for the Israelites, then there's one lot for all the rest of the nations. And we're not counting as Israelites, we're just counting as the nations. The Lord don't care that much about all the heathens, and they don't even have a name. They're all collectively called the nations. All right? The word heathen, Gentiles, simply means nation. When somebody will say, what nationality are you? They can also say, what heathen are you? All right? And you can ask Israelite that. What heathen are you? They can say, I'm from the tribe of such and such. Genesis 35:10 says, the nation and the company of nations shall come from thee. A heathen and a company of heathens, because heathen, remember, is a narrow term. It just means nation. All right? Well, keep going, my shot. Let's go and say it. Go ahead.
Of descendants of Abraham, of Israel.
Of who?
Of Israel.
To let you know that even Israelites are called Gentiles.
There it is.
Because the word nations means Gentile. Right here in Isaiah 11:12, he shall set up the ensign for the nations. This is talking about the Israelites right here. And shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah. The dispersed of Judah. The dispersed of Judah. They asked him in St. John 7:35. Whither will he go? Will he go to the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? They called the dispersed Judites Gentiles. And gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. All right? We were referred to as Gentiles who lost our heritage, man. All right? We were no longer counted as Israelites. If we're not called Israelites, what's left to be called?
There
you go. And so like I kept saying heathen, I meant Gentiles.
Well, in America, we became black and Hispanic and Native and all these other
bywords.
And especially Judah. Judah had like 5-6 bywords.
That's it.
And if you go to Obadiah 1, it'll show you the process on how an Israelite actually becomes called by the Lord a Gentile or a heathen or a stranger. Okay? This is Obadiah. It's a couple different ways. Obadiah 1 and 11. And the day, well, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. It's talking about Esau Edom. And the day that thou stoodest on the other side, and the day that strangers, actual true heathens that are not Israelites, carried away captive his forces, captive who? The Israelites. And foreigners, non-Israelites, entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, the real Israelites, even thou was as one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, and the day that he, a true Israelite, became a stranger. When you take an Israelite from his land and start worshiping other customs, other ideologies, other vibrations, and so forth, the Lord said he became a stranger. Neither should he have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, the taking down of our kingdom. To this day, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American are not in our ancient Israelite land, under our ancient Israelite vibration, under ancient Israelite teaching. So therefore, we're learning how to be Edomite, so-called white man, Ammonite, so-called Japanese man, Moabite, so-called Chinese man, or whoever else one of these heathen lands that we've been scattered into. All right? Neither should thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress.
You got something?
I got.
Wait, y'all had a scripture then pop if you want to try to keep that order. Y'all had some, pop had something.
And the God has said,
Yeah.
All right.
I can't see one of the big head.
Salaki.
All right. Well, I had a couple, but well, you got to whittle it down. This is Psalms chapter 106, verse 34. It says, "They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works." So he said they did not destroy the nations. If somebody could give me Deuteronomy 7:1 real quick. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen. So the Israelites were mingled among the heathen when they were supposed to utterly destroy them.
Supposed to put them to the sword.
Yep. Why? Because they were doing all kind of heathenistic things in the land, our land, that was a spy for us. So he said, matter of fact, can we get that?
I got it in
Deuteronomy 7:1. When Yahweh thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when Yahweh thy power shall deliver them before thee, you shall smite them and utterly destroy them. You shall make no covenant with them, nor show mercy to them.
Keep going.
Neither shall you make marriages with them. Thy daughter you shall not give to his sons, nor his daughter shall you take to thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me.
Woo! And that's it. They, the heathen, shall turn thy son from following me. All right, from following our ways. All right, our righteous ways that was given exclusively to the Israelites. So he said, hey, go ahead and utterly destroy them. Don't make no covenant with them. Don't show them mercy. All right, get rid of them because they'll wind up turning you from following me. So, Psalms 106 and 34. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen, and learned their works, and served their idols, which were a snare unto them. See, when we serve their idols and we're about something that's contrary to what was given unto us, then we ourselves are counted as heathen. That's why the scripture says in Proverbs 21 and 16, when the man wandering out of the way of understanding, the understanding of what? Our way. That was given exclusively to us Israelites. When we wander out of the way.
In sight of the nations, by the way. He said, this is your make you a great nation in sight in front of all the nations.
Deuteronomy 4 and 5. All right, but then it says, if you wander out of the way of understanding, then you remain in the congregation of the dead. Yep. So I got a couple more, but I know bros, you know.
Go ahead, Pops, bring it out.
Okay, this is the Apocrypha Maccabees 1. I'm going to start at verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked rule, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus, the king, who had been a hostage of Rome, and he reigned in the 130th and 7th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So Yahweh went into how we were told not to. This is where we was making the covenants. Okay?
How we became Gentiles.
And how we became Gentiles. Okay? Let us go make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this pleased them well. It pleased the Gentiles. Then certain of the people were so forward when they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
And that was a 400-year period.
That was exactly
400 years of following after the Greeks heathen.
by the time that Timothy had came around. Timothy's father was still considered a Greek.
A Greek, but he was actually an Israelite.
And the proof is, it said his mother, of course, understood that she was a Jewish, which means she kept the customs. She wouldn't just go marry a heathen.
Exactly.
It's actual heathen. She wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's one of them moments.
If you know the laws, right? If you know the scriptures, not really understand it.
Okay, I got a couple of verses here in Tobit 13. It says, then Tobit wrote a prayer of rejoicing and said, blessed be Yahweh that liveth forever, and blessed be his kingdom. For he does scourge and have mercy. He leadeth out to hell and bring it up again. Neither is there any that could avoid his hand.